Hi, my name is Craig, and I'd like to give you some quick tips on how to effectively give feedback. So I'm going to show you 3 scenarios. See if you can identify some mistakes that I make. Here's the first. So I want to give you some feedback about something that's been on my mind a while. I mean, you're creative, you've got a lot of great ideas, but you don't really seem to be able to execute on them. I mean, for example, you dropped the ball on last year's Hocus Pocus project and ended up dragging on and on. I mean, don't get me wrong. Everybody loves your positive energy. I mean, you're a good contributor. So what did you notice? Well, for starters, did you catch that I said, on my mind for a while? Don't store up feedback and then dump it on the employee. Instead, feedback should be timely. It's most effective when it's given 24 to 48 hours from the incident, so it's fresh in everybody's memory. And did you notice how I sort of wedged in some negative feedback between 2 of the positives? That's actually called the sandwich technique, and that's definitely not recommended since it mixes and confuses the messages. And what does it even mean to sort of drop the ball on Hocus Pocus? That's way too broad and way too abstract. So let's try a second scenario. Hey, I just wanted to pull you aside and let you know what a rock star I think you are. You've been crushing it lately. You're amazing. Okay, positive feedback is an important motivator and creates an engaging environment. So that was good. But rather than pull an employee aside in private, a better rule of thumb is to praise in public and save the corrective feedback for private. Of course, there are always going to be exceptions to that, but it's a good rule and guideline to follow. And if someone were to tell you that you were an amazing rock star who crushed it, you'd probably feel good hearing those words, but not really know exactly what you did well. So stay away from those broad, generalized comments and give employees examples of what they did well and what they should do more of. Okay, let me try giving some corrective feedback. I have a real problem with the negative attitude that you bring to our team meetings. I am very disappointed in you. You're disrespectful to others on the project, and you've got this sort of I'm better than everyone else attitude. It's just not acceptable, and I need you to think long and hard about how you're going to straighten up and play nice with others on the team. Okay, so did you notice that I fell into that same trap of speaking in broad generalizations and abstractions, using words like negative attitude, disrespectful, learn to play with others? Those words tend to elicit a very defensive, I am not response, and they leave the employee unclear as specifically what is the behavior that they need to change. So a powerful framework that you can use when giving both positive and constructive feedback is called SBI. It stands for situation, behavior, impact. Situation cites a specific example, like a customer meeting, or a project, or an email, or a report that the employee wrote. The behaviors, those are the examples. Specifically, what did the employee say? What did the employee do? The facts. The impact, that's the outcome of those behaviors. And that could be on the business, on the customer, the team, or maybe the impact on the employee themselves. So let me show you an example of effectively done feedback using the SBI model. See if you can identify where you hear the situation, the behavior, and the impact. Hi, I appreciate you taking a couple of minutes this morning to talk with me about our meeting. I wanted to give you some feedback about your participation at those meetings. Let me share what I've observed, and then I'd like to make this a dialogue and really get your perspective. So I've noticed that you've been maybe 10 to 15 minutes late for the last 3 meetings. As a result, we ended up having to take the time to catch up on what you missed. I also observed that when Jackie was commenting on her status update, you rolled your eyes a couple of times. And when Steve made a suggestion for process improvement, you interrupted him. And you said that you thought his idea was bureaucratic, was the term you used. You know, I want you to be able to speak your mind, but I'm just concerned that the way you did it shut down the conversation. It just created a perception that you don't really respect or value your colleagues. It didn't reflect well on our company values, and I know it's not how you want to be perceived. And I am interested in hearing your perspective. So how did you see it? The situation was the team meeting. There are a number of behaviors that I cited, including lateness, eye rolling, and interrupting. And did you hear how I linked the impact to each of those behaviors? So remember, when you give feedback, use the SBI model: situation, behavior, and impact.